Hello everyone, it's the Pyrosaniac, and there is something very controversial happening right now pertaining to the modding community that I would like to talk about. Earlier, on the date of recording, the 23rd of April 2015, Steam announced a new add-on for their digital distribution platform, Steam. Starting with the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, Steam offers the ability for mod creators to release their modifications, items, maps, etc. onto Steam's workshop with the option to be payable with real-world currency. As of now, there are a total of 19 mods available for purchase on the workshop, with many more on the way. On the Steam forums, there is already a widespread confusion about the policy, and a backlash against Valve and the mod creators is already underway. Before everyone goes into full rage mode, however, we should stop to consider a few factors about the new system. One thing to consider is that this is not the first instance of paid mods being available on Steam, or anywhere else for that matter. Aperture Tag, a mod for Portal 2 which requires a purchase to be played, was the subject of much controversy when it was released on Steam in July of last year. However, a year later, the mod is not so much criticized for its price point, but its quality of product. Judging by the Steam reviews, these seem to be quite favorable. Perhaps these workshop mods will see a similar fate in the future, although I'm not entirely convinced that will be the case. After all, Aperture Tag was a fairly significant mod which added a whole new dynamic to the game, whereas most of these mods tend to just be armors and weapons. There are some more significant mods available such as I Need, Minus Magic, and Wet and Cold. These ones may be able to stay relevant, although for many of these there already exists an alternate, and in some cases superior, free alternative for the same mechanics. Therefore, I'm not entirely sure how the added price will affect the popularity of these mods. Moving on, there are other mods of games which appear on the Steam market that are doing quite well, and other games which originated as mods of games which are now on their own standalone title. The most popular of these are probably Counter-Strike, Team Fortress, Dota, DayZ, and Garry's Mod, with many others also available. The only issue with this is that these mods themselves so significantly change how the respective game works that they actually can pass themselves off as a standalone game. As for what is currently offered on the Steam Workshop, not so much. Even the mods which most significantly change the game, such as I Need or When Cold, don't really add too much in the overall way the game is played, at least not to the extent of the giants I just mentioned. As a result, I'm not sure the mods really offer enough at the prices the creators are offering them for, even for the ones that allow you to choose your own price, which I will address later. Currently, there are several mods which offer less than Oblivion's infamous Horse Armor DLC that expect more than that piece of junk. Needless to say, I'm a bit skeptical about the whole system. In Steam's defense, they also have implemented a policy which allows players to receive a full refund within 24 hours of purchasing a mod. This is especially surprising to me, as Steam hasn't exactly been very lenient in regards to offering refunds in the past. They do, however, offer a one-time only refund if you contact customer support, although even then it's a bit difficult to do so due to the nature of Steam's customer support system. Either way, Steam isn't exactly marketing this as a refund system, rather as a sort of trial system. I assume this is to prevent large changes to their policy regarding refunds, although now that they offer this for mods, they may be pressured to do so for games and software. I know Origin has a similar system where you can get a refund within, I believe, 48 hours of launching a game, although I may be mistaken about that. Regardless, I don't believe that refunds address the core issue with the system, this being the fashion in which the modders are able to set the prices for the mod which they release on the market. Now, I do understand the purpose of the system is to help modders support themselves financially as they do what they love, and as a fellow content creator, I totally understand where they're coming from. However, the payment system isn't exactly the greatest, and I believe this is the fault of both Valve and the modders themselves. Just by browsing the workshop, it doesn't seem like a lot of modders understand how basic economics work. Now, I don't claim to be an economics major, but I do understand some of the basic principles of supply and demand, so bear with me here. Currently, they are setting prices that are way too high for the amount of product they are releasing. There is a multitude of additional sources in which to obtain mods from, such as the Nexus, Curse, even the official game forums. Furthermore, there are a lot of mods which are available on the workshop which can be found elsewhere on the internet. Now I know some modders may take down their works from other sources to offer their mod exclusively on the Steam Workshop, but that still doesn't entirely fix the problem for them, as others can still just upload their mods to additional sites. As I said earlier, a lot of these mods have free alternatives which can be obtained, which in some cases are far superior to the ones for sale. In the eyes of the consumer, why purchase an expensive cookie from the coffee house when little Sally is offering her own, and admittedly, tastier cookies for free? The choice is obvious. Now, I do know that Steam is trying to alleviate this by allowing modders to offer a pay-what-you-want system to download the mod. The problem, from what I've seen by looking at the purchase pages of these mods, is that the pay-what-you-want system isn't exactly as beneficial as one would think, and this largely seems to be Valve's fault. First of all, the prices are restricted to a drop-down list which the consumer can choose from. This takes the power away from the consumer in a way that really only hurts the producers. Another big blunder is that when browsing through the paid mods in the workshop, there isn't any way to actually tell which mods are pay-what-you-want, other than by actually clicking on their page. This causes consumers to actually be pushed away from many interesting mods, as the high price point is a significant deterrent, even though the price they pay can actually be lower than the one that is advertised. The biggest issue from what I've seen is that modders have to either offer their mods for free on the workshop or offer them for a price. There isn't a way for modders to offer their mods for both, or they simply haven't chosen to. Some bands, such as Radiohead, offer some of their albums for sale in similar fashions, allowing the consumer to input an exact price for the album, which can even be nothing. This way the consumer gets full control over the price of the product being purchased. Sure, a lot of people will just download the album for free, but a lot of people will also just download it illegally. Additionally, Radiohead will benefit from the increased word of mouth about their product, which is far superior to any form of advertising in my opinion. And who knows, maybe some fans will download it for free, decide to like it a lot, and decide to support the creators. It's kind of like how microtransactions work in free-to-play games. Ultimately, however, for the system to be successful, I believe that Valve needs to allow modders to treat this as a medium for generating donations rather than a market in which to sell a product. Another big concern I have about the system is that plagiarism and profiting off someone else's work is entirely possible and highly likely. It's not outrageous to say that some of the mods up for sale right now may have already been stolen, and that a thief is profiting off of someone else's work as we speak. I don't really see a way to fix this issue, as although the original content creator could report the offender to Valve, it's really quite difficult to prove the ownership of anything on the internet. Even if the thief does get caught, they can just create another account for free on Steam and start all over again with someone else's creations. This flaw in the system is something that troubles me greatly, and I hope that Valve can find or is working on a solution to this problem. If you are a modder, Valve has a DMCA takedown notice, which I will link to in the description to help you solve the issue. That's all I have to say at the moment. We are still in the early stages of this being implemented, and I'm sure that some changes are to be expected. If you have any questions, suggestions, or concerns, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'm especially interested to hear your guys' thoughts on the matter. I do know that this video was a bit biased toward the consumer side of the issue. I'm not a modder, so I'm afraid that I can't add too much in regards to that. If you are a modder, then please feel free to counter any of my points. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. This has been your friendly neighborhood Pyrosaniac, signing off.